Well, ladies and gentlemen, the movie Wish has been out for a little while now, and now we have some concrete numbers passing over Thanksgiving weekend and essentially experiencing what we can consider to be the fall of Disney in the animated sector. Like, this thing is bombing so unbelievably bad that when I look at these numbers, I honestly just can't believe it. I can and I can't. Like, there's different reasons why I can, and there's different reasons why I can't, and we'll get into it in the video. But the fact that this movie is doing only $51 million worldwide after almost being a week in the box office just goes to show just how terrible Disney has become in their movies. So let's get into this video, guys. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into the YouTube algorithm. So we're looking at box office mojo for the movie Wish from Disney, right? And they had a domestic total of $33,974,000. Now, I said in a video prior that this movie is going to succeed or fail based on how it does in the international box office. Disney's animated movies tend to do pretty damn well in the international box office, and if this movie had any legs internationally, then it might have had at least some sort of a chance to not lose an ungodly amount of money. But it looks like it's going to lose so much money that it's actually going to give Strange World a run for its money, which is pretty ironic considering Strange World lost an insane amount of money. But it made $33 million domestically, but it only made $17 million internationally for a total worldwide gross of $51.2 million, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I want you to keep in mind, this thing came out in 3,900 theaters. 3,900. A lot of the time you see a lot of theaters, it probably hovers around 4,200. This movie came out in 3,900 theaters. Not bad for a Disney animated film. And it had an opening of 19 million, which was a pretty major bomb. Now, the funny thing is, again, ladies and gentlemen, keep in mind, this is over Thanksgiving weekend, one of the biggest weekends in the box office for family-oriented movies, which is what this is supposed to be. And yet, we have a massive flop on our hands. Keep in mind, this movie has a $200 million budget. That's not including marketing. $200 million budget. That means to break even just on the budget alone, on average, you got to make anywhere from $370 to $400 million to break even, ladies and gentlemen. And this film is only at $51 million. Now, let's go down to the actual domestic numbers. Look how terrible this is for domestic daily numbers. Its opening day on Wednesday made $8 million. $8 million on opening day. You would think Thanksgiving Day would give them a little bit more, money, but it didn't. It gave them more money on Friday, but they only made $3.7 million on Thanksgiving Day. They made $8 million on Friday, and then they started to completely bomb afterward. You'll start to notice once it gets to around Monday, it starts not even making millions of dollars anymore. It made $745,000. Tuesday, it growed a little bit of legs and made it to $1 million. But then Wednesday, it dropped to $591,000 in a singular day. So this movie has been out for a little over a week now. And again, it's only at $51 million. Now, you're probably asking yourself, how is this film doing in terms of the reviews? Now, Rotten Tomatoes, of course, we all know is bought and paid for. Rotten Tomatoes loves to filter their reviews. They love to fake it as much as they possibly can. Now, you have to imagine that these reviews are probably not the best considering what's been going on with this film. Now, the funny thing is, the critics actually hate this film according to Rotten Tomatoes, but the audience loves this film. All of a sudden, all these films that are bombing, the audience magically loves now. And that's because Rotten Tomatoes now filters the reviews so heavily that they want to basically create this narrative around certain films about it being so loved by fans that they always have 80% or higher in reviews. But just read some of these reviews from the critics. They are actually pretty damn terrible. It says a feature-length greatest hits reel that makes you wish you were watching something better. Maybe the House of Mouse Century of Achievement achievement merits some sort of celebration, but Wish really isn't it. This feels like a faded facsimile of past Disney glories. If you put a bunch of executives in a room and told them to put out a list of what elements you have to have in a Disney feature, this is what you'd get. Do Not Wish Upon a Star cross Disney animated musical. It's possible to catch the Zeitgeist Express and still suck, and here's the proof. Fawn Verasuthorn and Chris Buck's flaccid, disturbing Les Mis for kids Disney flick Wish. Man, that is brutal. And again, all of this is because they decided that they rather basically give you a Disney highlighted animated reel versus giving you an actual movie to look forward to enjoy for the holiday season. Disney's just incapable of making anything that people want to see anymore. You know, we have Bob Iger. I did a video about Bob Iger essentially admitting that they need to basically change course and stop this nonsense that they're doing, but you really can't. You can't do that. Like, you sold yourself to the mob. You sold yourself to the woke. There's no way that you're going to be able to shift course now without being canceled. There is absolutely no way. Disney has put themselves in a position that they cannot win back the crowd without sacrificing their wokies, and they're not going to sacrifice the wokies, okay? Because if they would have done it already. They would have absolutely got rid of the wokies when they started losing billions of dollars the first time. Now you're basically in what, year 3 now, where you're losing an insane amount of money. They're past $1 billion lost in the box office for this year alone. Think about how much money they're going to lose on Wish. If the movie had to make $400 million to break even just on the budget, not even including marketing, think about that. That's probably going to be around $300 million lost on one singular movie. Can you imagine losing $300 million on anything, let alone Disney losing $300 fucking million on one singular movie? It's an absolutely insane idea that I can't even bring my mind to even think about losing this much money. The fact that they are actually releasing movies and being okay with these numbers is crazy. And I'm going to have another video coming out about the Marvels and where that movie stands as it's wrapping up. But they are between those two movies alone, they are losing easily $700 million between both movies. They have to be. And it's crazy that they're okay with that. It's crazy that they're really seriously trying to convince you that these movies are anything sort of successful and that they're okay with the box office failure of these movies so long as the message gets through. And this is exactly why Bob Iger stands absolutely no chance. Let's say he actually wanted to switch course and go back to making good movies. How are you going to do that? How are you going to do that after trying to convince everybody for 2 phases of Marvel and multiple failed animated films from Disney? How are you going to do that after trying to convince everybody that this is the new norm? This is the new future. If you don't like this, you're a bigot, etc., etc., etc. How are you going to switch course? You can't. You can't switch course. The only thing that you can do now is burn the company to the ground. And that's essentially what is happening with modern day Disney. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. And if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.